G'day Tony, how you going mate? Bit of a sneak peek. Just finished doing a little snippet video to go to the end of the week video. I thought I'd just do a quick one, say g'day to people. Most people are asleep, which is probably just a good thing. Hello sunshine. It'll be a day here today. Absolutely beautiful here. Best time of the year. Just the start of summer. Blue skies. And the boys have been busy. There's lots of work that you don't see that brickies do, like setting heights, templates, profiles, things that take time, but then they can fly along. They did a fair job today. It's funny, these brickies must be 60 years old, and they're good blokes. Just a couple of them. Another one will be joining them maybe in a week or two's time, but these old blokes love heavy metal. It's quite funny. Nothing wrong with heavy metal, don't get me wrong. You can hear some kids, probably a couple of houses down, they're all into the pool. Swimming season here now. Like kids everywhere, put them near water, their voices multiply about 10 times. But they have fun. Not sure whether the missus is making a coffee or not. Are you making a coffee? Hello?
Yeah.
Are you making a coffee?
Yeah.
Okay, just doing a quick hangout.
Okay.
Tony Abbott's here, Prime Minister of Australia.
Hey?
Prime Minister of Australia, Tony's here. So
Oh.
just get me a fresh onion out of the cupboard. I'll cut it up for him. Well, actually, no, he'll just bite it as it is. That kind of guy.
Give me an onion.
Tony loves onions. The Right Honourable Member, or the ex-member for Warringah said g'day to you.
Sorry?
I said the previous member for Warringah said g'day to you.
Oh, oh, okay. G'day. G'day, mate.
Oh, I love this time of year. You get cool nights, nice warm days, beautiful. So you can't see too much, but I'll do the old finger routine. That is our bedroom window. A bit further down is the ensuite dunny window. Down there is the shower window for our ensuite. And our door starts where that profile is. There, that's our room. So it's quite a big room. It's got walk-in robes. big, and then the other one, next room next to us is another ensuite bathroom. So 2 bedrooms with en-suites. And yeah, everything's happening, but like I say, loads of questions from my American friends, not quite working out how we build houses in Australia. We got different methods. G'day, Prim, yeah. Yeah, I mean, virtually they started laying the bricks on Monday, and we're now Thursday here. And I'll do a video of, I've only do 3 or 4 minute videos of the week anyway. For people that are semi-interested, that's the only reason I do it. People that aren't interested, well, it's a short video. In fact, the wife's doing a collage of the whole house build. You won't see that until early next year, but it'll be in fast motion. It'll be quite funny, actually. It's hard to get a perspective even at the moment. I mean, I've had people message me saying, how come you've got these bricks going up and then what do? Plaster over it? I'm thinking, I better answer them. And I say, no, that's only the outer leaf of the bricks. There's another layer of bricks on the inside, double brick. And then on the inside of the double brick, it'll all be plastered. So a hard wall, which keeps the home nice and cool with insulation. But they make, I mean, I've got friends that build houses in the US and they go, we don't do it that way. You know, they use siding, framework, pitch a roof, stick on tar tiles. I haven't seen one. Tony, have you ever seen a house in Australia with those tar shingles they use in the US? Because I have never seen one, ever. Mainly because it'll get blown away here with our winds. And the roof tile is sort of an orangey red, trying to match the old tile. So it won't be a perfect match, but I stopped making the tiles from my old house 70 years ago. Yeah, a mate of mine built 2 cottages on his property in Pennsylvania. And he got the roof stage, it's just board over the frame, over the pitched roof. And then on goes this sheet of tiles. Stick on, they have either shingles, which he said not many people use now. He said most people just use these tiles, stick on tar tiles basically. And that's common. It wouldn't pass building code here. It wouldn't allow you. I don't think, Tony, they'd even let you build a shed out of the stuff. But each country is different, I guess. You get to see the windows a bit better now. They're just the whole of the windows, so you don't get to see anything there. But then you can start to see some of the colonial windows we're putting in. There's a big one behind, a double, and then there's that single. And then there's another single they were doing measurements today. They're going in about roughly here. There'll be a doorway there with steps going down. And this is the French doors. Those 2 doors are loose at the moment. And that frame goes all the way down past those other doors. And it will go in that cavity down the end, leading onto the patio. But we hunted down for all our windows and doors for a very long time. I mean, I think that French door setup was a couple of grand with the 2 doors and there's 2 panels either side, as you can see behind. And that's 3.5 metres long. That was 2 grand, but we looked into getting them made, and just for the French doors, you can see behind, there's a panel on either side. This one here. This is the colonial windows, but 15 grand they wanted for a one that was made up. And these colonial, these were 660. These are second hand. That was the big one, and they were about 2 grand for the colonials. But we got quotes for those as well. We would not have got away with windows in our house if we had them built to our specifications, would have been close to 40 grand. I picked up these other 3 Art Deco windows which are going in our window here and the office, and they were only $300 each, and they need a bit of work, sanding, you know what I mean. But you don't even want to know what they would have cost to be made new. You'll see the pattern when it goes up. It's really old 1940s pattern of like Art Deco. Really, really cool. And they're only in the bedrooms and office. Thank you very much. Let me put a crate here for you.
Yeah, just here. I don't know. Yeah.
We bought some special furniture for the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite cheap.
And just put your coffee in the middle of everything.
I'll move this down if you like so you can see.
No, it's alright.
I'll just move down a bit.
I won't be.
You might want to chat to a few of the fellows. Yeah, it's when it's plastered, because when it's finished internally, you start thinking, oh, that looks a bit rough. But they plaster it, so we got some colonial cornice going up on the ceiling, and some Jarrah colonial architrave going down the base. And all the doors are Jarrah framed, except the bathroom doors. You know, the ones going into the ensuite toilet. They'll be steel framed, but that's just practicality. You'll probably see a major difference probably 2 weeks from now. It'll, as far as the shape of the house, you'll get a fairly good idea. And the rooms. The big moment will be when they rip down the kitchen wall. There's probably 8 metres of wall coming out, and then of course they add into the room itself. But I've had a few people contact me that are builders, and they're saying, wow, such different methods. But I think even in the US, in different states, there's different codes. I'm pretty sure if you live somewhere near the Carolinas or Florida, there'd be certain requirements. Obviously for hurricane, we have them in Australia. We're under a 200k cyclone, they call them here, instead of hurricanes. But a 200k minimum. That means your home must be built to sustain 200 kilometre-hour winds. That's why you're seeing some of these struts. I don't know if you can see them actually. See the big metal poles? They're part of a structure that go into the roof. Again, that's based on wind speed and obviously strength. Nice cuppa, dear. Thank you very much.
Alright.
So, Tony, if you're still there, just let me know. I had a question to ask you. Back now. Yeah, the Tony is, you know, I know you do donations for worthy causes. Australia's a bit different, of course, so wouldn't mind whipping out the old e-wallet for 350 grand. That should cover it. That'll even pay for the pool, I think, wouldn't it? Yeah, should cover it.
Can you make it an extra 5,000? Then I can give it to that mob that took the pup to raise it for us.
Oh yeah, chuck another 5 on top for this group of people that save puppies. Hand wash chicken grease from your hand. Let me have a guess. Schnitzel? Could be. Or a casserole of some sort. Or he's just being amorous with the local chickens. I don't know.
Well, yes, just thinking about that toilet window.
What about it? You think it's too low, don't you?
Yeah, just if we extend out there and I have it opened.
Crunchy Thai. Oh yeah, lemongrass. Green Thai, I imagine. Could be red Thai curry, but green Thai is my favourite. Coconut cream. Probably coriander involved. Onions, of course. Fresh chilies, I imagine, Tony, would be the game. A lot of people get scared of fresh chilies. They're actually not that hot. Bachelor's chow. Seeds, are you playing Minecraft? Yep, I've just got the blocks to this stage and a bloody monster came out and snavelled whatever thing I was supposed to pick up. It's Jojo.
Hey Jojo.
Actually, I will show Jojo. We haven't lost all our backyard, Jojo. I was remembering what you said the other day, maxed out and all that. Not really. I'm not going to be able to show you too much. But that's the end of the building, and there's another 20 metres goes that way, and 20 metres goes that way. That's probably where the pool is. So yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not totally maxed out because we may or may not be building a cottage down the back as well, and there's plenty of room for that. But yeah, it's still a building site at the moment. You get an idea of the size of our windows. They're actually the windows behind there that are going in there, in that other bedroom, and in that office. Oh, look, a little fairy. Oh yeah. I'm just walking into our bedroom now. All this through here is our bedroom and ensuite. And our pallet beds will be going over here, pallet beds, and facing the window. If we just leave it as it is, we've got great airflow, Jojo, coming through the home. May not even put a roof on. That is the ensuite starts here, goes over here. There's the shower window. I'm sure you're excited. This is the dunny window. This is what we call a wind out. Probably seen these before. You flip it out and wind it. Good security actually. So the dunny goes there. The actual toilet is over there. So the window's not right next to you. I don't think the wife realises that. You know, this window's right near the edge of the wall. It's not right next to the dunny.
I know that wasn't the issue. It's like, we had it like that from the very beginning, but I'm just sort of see what you mean now. Why? I get what you're saying, but it's on the plans there.
Oh well, you couldn't have put a wound-up window in that corner.
Why?
It'd be behind you on the dunny. It'd be silly. You would just have what we call a fixed and levered window up and down.
Yeah, I think that's why they did what they did then.
That's fine, like I say. If you haven't been doing the business over here, that's the toilet pipe.
Actually,
Your window's down the end of the room.
Yeah.
Plus you want a shelf in there, I think, didn't you say? Somewhere in there.
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, I was just thinking if we extended that out and then I have that open, if people don't hit their head on it.
Well, the patio or alfresco goes all the way out here. It doesn't go to the window. It comes back about a metre and a bit.
No, I know, but what?
So, I mean, you've got the 700mm drop down from the veranda, which will probably be a wall or something for the barbecue area,
I
sink
would
area.
make another sitting area down there.
Right, yeah. We just,
You know what I mean? Like a level.
yeah, you just need to see it finished first and then decide what you want to do next, I think.
But as good as the shed is impractical, I'm leaning towards maybe it can go.
Well, good sized shed. That's the only thing. It's not. It fits both of us. I'm tall and I don't have any problem walking in there. I mean, to take that down, it's going to be $1,000.
Yeah, I have to think about it because I'd like a carport.
Well, I mean, you can do that. You can have this whole area can be a double
A
carport.
smaller shed around the corner back there because that's a dead corner where the clothesline's.
No, you won't get a shed around there. You're not going to be able to get to it. Well, drive to it. You're not going to be able to drive to
No,
it.
I'm talking about to store garden things in it.
Well,
So
this shed is 7 metres by 3.
I know.
So it's a pretty big shed as it is.
I have to see when it's finished because
Aren't you glad she's not part of the construction team, guys?
Because
It's too small. Joji is reminding you. Your wife was saying it's too small.
well, no, I can see more now, but like I don't know. Have a pool, we're gonna have no yard, and I don't want that.
What, you don't want a pool now?
I don't want my yard. I don't know. Let's get the house finished.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Yeah, actually we've got a lot of space out the front of the cottage too. From the front of the house to the fence line is about 20 metres. And in our country I can build another 10 metres towards the road if I wanted to, but I have no need to.
I'd rather see a veggie garden where the shed is.
No good because of the light, because of those trees, to be honest.
I'll be in a minute.
And the other option, if you wanted to take that shed down, you could only going to use it for a shed, all right? You put a shed down the back, you put the pool where the shed is, and then you put a garage in front of the pool. That's another option. See you later, Tony.
I know, soon it's finished.
Yeah. We've got too many grandkids not to put a pool in, let's be honest.
I don't know. I don't know.
Doesn't have to be Olympic size.
The leaves from that tree, that's the pain.
Oh, I'd probably put a roof over the pool, I'll be honest with you. Right up to the fence line, so anything that did drop that way. It's only 1/4 acre, Jojo, but that's an old Australian size. This house was built 70 years ago and the subdivision was done nearly 100 years ago and it was all 1/4 acres. That's how they used to do them. Now they're like postage stamps. This is 1/4 acre. They're selling basically 1/8 of an acre.
Normally 3 houses would be on this.
Oh yeah, you get 3 houses on this if you wanted to subdivide.
And they'd be at least 2 4x2s and a 3x1 or 2.
Could even get 4. Like if you took the cottage out, you'd have a driveway come through the middle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I suppose the laws were different when this house was built because a lot of the houses are actually built further forward.
Yeah, so I was just saying we can go a lot further forward. Jojo's saying that land in that area where he lives is 2 million. It's about 600,000 for a 1/4 acre here. But if you'd have bought this 70 years ago, probably would have been about 20 quid or about $50. It's not really homes that gather value. It's the land. It's like when people take on franchises for McDonald's or whatever. It's not the money you make in the business, even though that pays the bills. It's the increase of land, because where they buy the land, they're doing speculation from the word go. A lot of people don't get that. What's the old story, Jojo? Location, location, location. But loads of people in this area will put a separate house down the back and keep an older house down the front, or build two new homes. That's very, very common. We just don't like that cramped feeling.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I don't want another thing there.
You can now see how much room you got between the fence and the house, can't you? You got a good area.
Well, you had to. What's the least you could go?
Oh no, we could have gone about 1.2, about 4 foot if we wanted to, but I never wanted to do that at all. I mean, when we've designed this home, we've designed it to still have that space all around.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have access if you need to get a machinery in your backyard for whatever reason.
Yeah. Uh, 3,600 square foot in Studio City on half an acre because of hillside. Yeah, there's a lot of that, particularly around our city. There's lots of houses with land that virtually half of it goes down the hill. People say, I own half an acre, but then you look at their house, more than a quarter of the acre is vertical. But it's still legally sold as the acreage to the property. People have always got Jojo, if you get a young couple and they say, they go to a block and say, the views are fantastic, and it's about 30-degree slope going all the way down the back, and they go, I love it, and we'll buy it. So they spend, say, $500,000, and then they spend another $500,000 building in retention walls, engineering structural walls, and they go, so we've still got only the half acre and you can't see anything that they've done, and now you've spent $1 million. And they go, there's a bit of a mistake. I warned my kids on that. They looked at a few where I used to live in a town called Geraldton. Beautiful views of the ocean, but big slopes, and you are responsible for the engineering on your land. And people think, now maybe the council will fix it for me. No, it's your land. So a lot of people end up with wasted space at the back of the house because they don't want to spend the extra few $100,000 to square it up. The thing about my city, where we live here at the moment, there's trees everywhere. There's laws about trees. Everywhere you go, you're going to find a heap of trees, which is good. That means we get lots of wildlife, lots of birds. You need permission to cut a tree down in your own property. They can fine you. If they come around and you've chopped a tree down and you didn't ask them, even on your own property, you could be in the poo-poo. Now, we won't be done till, I'm guessing, late January. Could be February. Finishing a house. There's probably more complication after that. You got lock up, you got the roofs on, the walls are plastered, but you got all the other work to do. Tiling, fitting out kitchens, floorboards, architrave, skirting boards. It just goes on. Painting, I've painted quite a few homes in my time. I'm getting older. I get a hand from the missus, and some of the kids will come round. But the one thing that's always a pain is cutting in. Painting a wall is easy, but cutting in to make sure you don't stuff up particularly good Jarrah frames. We just want a comfortable home. We've got lots of kids and grandkids, so we could comfortably live in a one-bedroom cottage. But that's not how it works when you've got a family. So I don't know what time it is where you are, Jojo, but it must be 2 or 3 in the morning. You're either going to bed late or you're up early. I'm always up early, by the way. 5 o'clock, 5:30. Just habit. 6:15. Now that's a reasonable hour. Time for a shower, something to eat. 40 laps of the pool. Are on New York time? Well, you're probably there for a reason. Turning wheels, I guess. Oh, you're leaving the country? Europe? Going over to the old Europa? Starts getting cold all in the Northern Hemisphere about this time. Speaking to a few people yesterday, Jojo, and in Canada it was 26 degrees on Monday and then -3 on Tuesday. Dublin. We love Dublin. Truly love Dublin. You have to go down the Golden Mile while you're there, mate. Yeah, we fell in love with Ireland. Absolutely beautiful. Lots of history, culture. The people are funny, friendly. Food's good. Beer's nice, particularly Guinness. But everywhere we went, the Irish would just come up and start nattering, just like you're back home, just like being here. I tell you what, if you get an opportunity, it's not too far from Dublin. I'm trying to remember the bay on the west coast. It's the old part of Ireland. I'll remember it in a second, but all the way through there, absolutely beautiful. That's a true taste of Ireland. I mean, the north is different. It's similar, but it's different in Ireland. The southern Ireland is like Ireland of old. So we found out. But no, we found Dublin town itself very beautiful. And things done in Ireland are always funny. Like they had just across the main street, which is called the Golden Mile. That's the name of the area, not the street. They had a celebration millennium walkway built. It was finished about 3 years ago. And one bloke said, that's how the Irish do it. You know, the millennium was the year 2000. The walkway was finished in about 2015. But it's okay. They don't mind. That's what I remember now. The actual, it's a way or a road. A lot of Irish roads are called ways. And it's called the Dingle Way. It takes you through parts of the old historic area of Western Ireland, or southwestern Ireland. And Dingle is a beautiful little fishing village with chocolate box, rows of shops and houses. Dalkey? You mean Dalkey? Dalkey. I've never heard of Dalkey. Make sure you go drive around there, mate. You'll love it. Really beautiful. Well, you'll be up in the hills if you're 20 minutes out from Dublin. You'll be up in the hills. There'll be bloody sheep everywhere, mate. Just warning you. That. But if you, I'm presuming you've not been there before, but you will come away thinking how friendly and inviting they are. Even though the Irish tend to talk quickly, but they're patient people. No, that seems a contradiction in terms. Oh, you'll get plenty of both. You'll definitely get beer and fish. And the bread's good there too. But you can see a lot of Ireland in a short time. Yeah, we went to London. I was a kid when I first went to London a few times. It's changed. The thing you'll notice in Ireland, Jojo, is that it's full of Irish people. I'm not being racist here by any means, but that's the fact. And you go to London, you could be in any major city in the world. The spoken language is not English. It's everything else. Because my mum came from Manchester, I remember those early days as a child. And I only found one speaking Mancunian, because they speak a certain way. And I said to him, you're the only Manc I've found. He said, I live here. And he said, there's hardly any Mancs left. You've got Irish friends. They are. They're incredibly warm. We've got friends of ours we've had for a very long time. They're thinking of buying a property in Southern Ireland, and we've got a young lass who came into some money, and she's thinking about buying a property in Ireland as well. So it could be a rather cheap trip for us. I'll just go over there and spend 6 months there, buy a car, say $5,000 or something, get a reasonable car just to go from A to B, and we'll have places to live. Beautiful place to spend time in Ireland. But the roads can be a bit iffy. You'll see what I mean when you get there. But no one's in a hurry, so they're not that iffy. But if you get a chance and you speak to your friends, it's only a couple of hour drive to the Dingle Way along the west coast. Be a good half-day trip out there. You can see how the Irish towns have changed, but you can see the industrial revolution in lots of the old buildings. Oh, we have some puppy dogs. Hello. Are you getting lonely inside, you two?
Well, it's a bit cold out here, isn't it, for you?
What you doing? Penny, what you
So
doing?
close.
Looking at the dogs, not you.
I know, but who's looking at them?
I think Jojo. There's a few others in here, I think.
Oh.
So there you go, Jojo. I promised you one day I would show you my wife's puppies. And there they are. And you didn't even need one of these so-called, and I don't know anything about them, infamous green rooms. This is a brick room. Oh boy, big yawn. Actually, our daughter, endometriosis, you know what I'm talking about. There's so many young women that have that, it's incredible. She has trouble when she has a period and pain. Well, on top of all that, that's happening in the last couple of days. They're in Melbourne before they fly to Thailand. But then she fell down the stairs. Not quite broken her ankle, but so she's in pain, and she's got this foot, so she was a bit sobby today. Yeah, I mean, the Irish roads are very easy to follow. They're not complicated. In Wales, it's a bit different, Jojo, trust me. They are courteous enough to stick a English sign underneath a Welsh sign, but yeah, I'd certainly have a GPS going if I was there. Yeah, she will, but it's a case of, it's one of those, endometriosis is one of those diseases that it's something like 1 in 10 women have. Staggering. Sometimes it causes issues and people can't have children and things like that, but she's had all the children she's going to have. But it's just the pain and constant annoyance and bloating, and it's more common than I thought. It was staggering when she was telling me what the specialists were telling her. There's lots of diseases today, Jojo, that weren't around when you and I were a child. It's like a whole new world of, all right, you've cured all these other diseases, we're going to give the population some more new ones. Oh, the disease won't end your life. It just makes it uncomfortable. She's still only, how old's M31 now?
I think so.
Yeah. So she's still a puppy. Vinny came in the room yesterday sometime, or last night, and he was saying he might be in the US in the new year. I just hope he gets a clearance from his doctors first, because I've had a friend that was told you're not flying for 2 years until all the tests come back satisfactory, so it'd be good for him to travel there. Pepto-Bismol. Yeah, that was, I remember the ads of the 60s of that, mate. You would too. Get Pepto-Bismol now. Yeah, he was saying he was going to go to the US, wasn't he, last night? I don't know. Maybe he's getting some great results back from his tests now. I don't know. But a friend of mine was not allowed to fly for 2 years minimum. And I don't think he flew for about 5 years after that, actually. You can always go by boat. Only travelling at 60 feet then. Yeah, the old Pepto-Bismol. Remember those ads clear as day.
Huh?
Remember the old Pepto-Bismol ads?
No.
Oh, you don't remember them? Vinny and Elbow in Los Angeles. I'll apply for Mexican citizenship. That's right, mate. We've got a safe house here you can come to. I think that little arrangement at the moment between the man in the van, or the boy in the can, and the other person, and that little place they're staying, is going to turn to shit very quickly. I have no doubt in my mind.
Hey.
What are you barking at? That's most of the insulation over there they dropped off the other day.
Goes in between the bricks.
No, that's in the ceiling.
Oh.
Yeah, it's ceiling insulation.
What goes in between the bricks?
Air. Do you know why they do that?
Damp.
No? Well, there is that reason, but the main reason is that any air caught between bricks is an insulator in itself. Yes, I think it's going to turn to crap very shortly, Jojo. There's only so many large egos you can put in one small shine shack. Might be the best way to describe it. I think the intention was not for a temporary visit either. I think the intention was, well, could be, for a long-term stay, but yeah, it's not going to work. Yes, I'm pretty sure Jen is not that impressed. Or maybe Jen will be moving on. Maybe she's being replaced. Mere speculation on my behalf, of course, but very possible. I mean, you've had people in your life, Jojo, as I have, who have stumbled their way through certain things and make mistake after mistake. You don't help them by condoning their behaviour. You point out their behaviour and explain, well, what you're doing is not working and you're living a life of misery. How about you try something different? But there is no hope in this case at all. If you had a decent mentor, it could be a different story, but there is no mentor. Yeah, same here. You do what you can, and then when you get older you realise you limit your involvement. You still offer the help, but it's usually along the lines of guidance, not so much more coming out of your wallet or your emotional commitment, because that's what burns you. That's that stabbed feeling. And none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. It's just continually repeating them that makes you a fool. But that will play out. It will be a miserable... If this was a play, and there were 5 parts to the play, I think we're in the last act. That's how I see it. And it will be something like Macbeth, or maybe some other tragedy. There is not a good ending in this case. And you'll probably see one of these people on those channels get up and say, Yorick, I knew him well. Richard III, I think that was, wasn't it? Trying to jog my memory. He had an untimely death too, didn't he? They dug him up in a car park not long ago. Yeah. You see what I see with the boy in the van. It's the manipulation. Very illiterate person. Education-wise, I think he just attended school. There is no firm commitment in what he did when he did get to education, because it's just a case of him passing time and then falling and failing from one position to another for a number of years, realising that the best alternative is to do nothing and beg people. But I do believe we're in the last act, Jojo. The demise could be dramatic, or it could be just a fading event, but we're in the last act. Lots of people are impatient, but we're there. No, it's not even... I'm sure you have the same dispensation that I am, that I look at it as like, well, this is pretty sad. You see the obvious outcome. You weigh up in your mind the logical and natural processes that could unfold, and none of them are good. You know, if there are many roads that the boy in the can travel down, neither of them, or all of them, don't lead to nirvana. They lead to misery. But it's his road. And there's nothing that can be done, particularly if you're not with someone who's genuinely trying to help you. I mean, we've got to be brutal when we say, why is he in the circumstances he is now? It's not by his doing. It's a manipulation that's occurred. It's very obvious, but not to many people. And I have to tell you, in my perception, and I've seen a lot of people with different channels for different reasons, but I think those two particular people are the loneliest people on the planet. Be right back. He's going to slash the dragon. Very sad. I believe everything I've just said, that those two people are the loneliest people on the planet. They will cling to any adulation, any hope of recognition, maybe a few dollars. Enough of that anyway. I will go inside shortly. Turn this around. There you go. Still a bit of light here, but I've got things to do inside. So good catching up with all of you. If you don't get back in time, Jojo, sorry mate, but I'm going to close it down. And all of you, if you're starting your day, have a good one. If you're going to bed like me in a few hours, have a good one. We'll catch up with you again another time.